History has been made today on April 3rd, 2024 in the Zombies community. The impossible round 100 solo has been officially beat by Prompt the Patch Stealer. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the only clip I show of his official run. Obviously, him hitting round 100. And I want you guys to actually go check out his Twitch because he is going to be streaming very soon, continuing the round 100. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take the time to explain to you why this round 100 is so significant towards the Call of Duty Zombies community. Mao XP has actually tweeted out this image and it's already hit 250,000 views. I believe Prompt doesn't have a Twitter, but let's talk about why this is important, okay? Call of the Dead's reset timer is 78 hours, and also the maximum amount of box hits you can hit is 3,700. And so he beat this record 17 hours before resetting, and also almost 1,100 box hits less than what is required to error on this map, which to me is absolutely egregious. So let's get into the reason why this is so important. So in Black Ops 1 Zombies, when you look at the whole game as a whole, every single round 100 has been done years ago. Like, it's insane to say that the first legit round 100 on Call of the Dead took 13 years. And a lot of people might be like, why did it take so long when we have so many amazing Zombies players? Well, let's basically dissect it, right? Let's look at all of the Black Ops 1 Zombies maps. On maps like Kino and Ascension, you have infinite damage wonder weapons, right? You have the Thunder Gun on Shangri-La, you have the Baby Gun on Moon, you have the Wave Gun. You know, it's always got an answer. However, there are maps like 5 and Call of the Dead where you really don't have a way to get to round 100. And for Call of the Dead, this little bit of script in the game is the reason why this has been made absolutely possible. I want to give a big shout out, obviously, to MC Zombie Slayer here. And it basically is explaining how the zombies despawn when they crawl through a window barrier. So as you can see with the Call of the Dead round 100 here, it took 13 years because the original way of getting around 100 that you would do on every other Black Ops 1 Zombies map would simply not work on Call of the Dead because of its low reset time and also its low amount of box hits that you could hit when it's such an important aspect of this map. Whereas a map like 5, you have infinite damage traps, and so just because of that one thing, the highest round solo on 5 is up into the 200s, whereas Call of the Dead's, I could only imagine with this new strategy that you're seeing here, the maximum that Prompt, I think he's going to actually hit it on his stream soon, will probably be 110 or even the legendary number 115, which I feel is just so fitting for the theme of this map because this was the Primus map, this was also the Ultimus map, it's the whole map that ties in the original story, and so that's why I feel like it fits so perfectly. And as you can see here, MC is doing the original strategy where people would hoard on Power Ship and essentially box it and try and take out as many zombies as physically possible while taking out George and getting a Wonder Waff. Now you might be saying, well, isn't the Wonder Waff an infinite damage wonder weapon? Well, yes it is. You only get max 18 shots in the Wonder Waff, which is only 180 zombies, which at round 90, that's not even like one whole round. That's like barely even a 10th of a round, right? And so that's the issue that people have had with this map is it just simply takes too long to actually take out the zombies. So let's get into this strategy and explain it in depth. So the way this strategy works is you need 2 doors to be closed for this to work. You need the MP5 door, which is the one he just looked at, to be closed right next to him, and also the door next to PhD Flopper. The reason why is that this facilitates the spawns to essentially follow the VR11 man to a distance that's far enough and for a long enough time for them to actually despawn. And so definitely pay attention to the enemies remaining up here because you'll see how slow of a round 100 this is and why, in my opinion, this is the hardest round 100 I think ever in Call of Duty Zombies because it takes 60 plus hours to hit, man, with a massive amount of box spins. And I think what makes Patch's run so incredibly impressive is that he was hitting a VR11 on average every 28 minutes as well as getting the crossbow. Now, Now, you might be like, why is the crossbow important? Well, when you upgrade the crossbow in this map to the Awful Lawton, it becomes like the Acid Gat in Mob of the Dead, where you shoot it and it has the monkey bomb effect. None of the zombies will touch you, and so it's an incredibly important tool to use in this strategy, specifically when you have to have the doors closed to get away from the zombies. Because as you can see, even with this strategy, the zombies reach out of the barrier and can easily take you down, which is why you have to be so incredibly careful. And you might be wondering, how does he have all the perks on Call of the Dead Round 100 solo? Well, George Romero actually gives you a perk every time you take him out. And so obviously high rounders are going to be taking out George Romero every single chance they get, which is every 2 rounds, because he drops the Wunderwaffe #1 and also extra perks. So the reason why the strategy works, like I said, is because of the despawner timer and also the barriers. So let's get into that fully in depth here, because the respawn timer is so insanely calculated that on any other zombies game, this strategy would not work. It is simply only Black Ops 1's mechanics, which is the reason why this works, which is why, to me, this is just so insane that this has even been found, and that the old strategy is 3 times slower than this one. Like, just using the VR11 is 3 times more effective than trying to pull for scavengers and using that, or shooting all your weapons out of the box, which causes more entities to spawn into the map. And after you reach about 2,100,000,000 entities, you run out of memory on the map, and then that is when the map errors. And so often this is happening between 78 hours and, like I said, 3,700 box hits. And what makes this strategy even possible in the beginning is because of also the way this barrier is. If you've noticed, this barrier is not your stereotypical barrier in Call of Duty Zombies. It is a rock barrier, and I believe that because this barrier is a rock barrier, it almost allows the zombies to group up more in the high round strategy and actually manages them to stay there and despawn. And as you can see, in that like 5 to 6 minutes of footage, he only really was able to get like maximum 30-ish zombies, which is genuinely so bad in my opinion. Like, it's really sad to me that this is the fastest strategy, and right here MC Zombie Slayer is showing every single person that has actually managed to find this strat. So a massive shout out to every single one of these people here: Hermetrix, Zero, Fur Can Walk, Ivies, and Tonestone. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to Oxygen for the win, and a lot of previous Call of the Dead world record runner holders that have been doing the previous strategy, where, like I said, the highest round possible for that was only round 94, which no one had hit on that strategy, because you actually needed to obtain perfect box hits of Scavenger and always get those all the time. And so the fact that the answer all along was the VR11, where people thought that this wonder weapon was the worst, kind of raises the bar of this wonder weapon for me. And I'm so glad, because I hate putting this wonder weapon near the bottom, and now that it's the reason for Call of the Dead's round 100 being possible, you can't hate. You can't hate on the VR11. Listen, I get it. It's not as good as the BO3 version, because listen, the BO3 version literally allows you to use the monkey bomb effect like the crossbow in Black Ops 1, and the scavenger on the BO3 remastered version by COP for that is also infinite damage. And like I said, with this script of code, if it was not for just literally these 10 lines of code, the whole round 100 would not be possible. And so that is, ladies and gentlemen, why it's taken so long to find. It's because we've really had to break the game down to an absolute meta point for this strategy to even be possible, because there is no official strategy where if you regularly take out the zombies that you will ever hit round 100 solo on Call of the Dead in time, which is why this is the hardest round 100 to date. Like, this, I never even thought that this was possible. I'm just shocked that I'm even making this video. And so now that it is possible, we can all agree Call of the Dead Black Ops 1 round 100 is the hardest round 100 that has ever been hit to date with this. And it's insane, because even when you go back to the World at War maps, right? Even those maps, like Nocturne Tone has a flamethrower. You can get to round 100 in literally under an hour with that flamethrower. It's that good. And then also, Verrückt, you have the traps, right? Shinonuma, you have the Wunderwaffe, right? right? And so every single map always has something, but it seems like when Treyarch made Call of the Dead, they forgot to really balance the wonder weapons for a high round run. And so genuinely, the only way to get this is really by breaking the game in a way that makes the zombies despawn. And it's just so many unbelievable coincidences that this is possible. Like I said, that 10-piece string of code, the barrier here being a rock barrier, allowing the zombies to group up, the spawns behind him where he can shoot the VR11 and allow the man to run all the way down to the water puddle and allow those zombies to die and respawn. All of these things have stringed together, and it's insane because this strategy was just solved in January of this year, and barely 3 months later, Prompt has officially managed to hit the world record and the round 100 at a very impressive time. And so that is why I believe with 18 hours left, with about 1,100 box hits left on his run, he can be the world's first to even push this round even higher. And I would love to see a Call of the Dead round 110 or round 115 being possible, as like I said, nobody before this had even hit up until round 93, I believe was the highest round ever achieved. And I remember when that was achieved, that was a huge deal, because literally 94, you would have to have some of the best box RNG known to man. And I feel like at that point, people would think that you're hacking. But with this strategy, the box RNG that you genuinely only need is the VR11 and the crossbow, right? So it instantly makes it that much more easier, gives you a lot more leeway. And just like with 5, because there's no wonder weapon, you want to stick with the crossbow. And it kind of makes me wish that we get to see something like that come back in Black Ops Gulf War. But obviously with these newer games, you'll never have an impossible round 100 because of the inclusion of gobblegums or elixirs or the wand upgrades in Cold War, anything that makes it infinite damage, just that whole system of modern COD zombies now. You'll never ever run into an old issue like this with Call of the Dead. And so it is genuinely such a momentous day for any COD Zombies fan, because like I said, this round 100 for almost a decade, over a decade, was thought to be impossible, and now officially every single Zombies map solo round 100 has been officially achieved. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Something like this will never happen in the Zombies community ever again, and that is why it is absolutely worthy of a video and worthy of praise. And a massive shout out to Prompt the Patch Dealer. Ladies and gentlemen, again, go and check out this man's Twitch. He's got all his mods ready to go. I've got to drop this man a follow because genuinely this is one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen on Call of Duty Zombies, ladies and gentlemen.